The following is a paid program. Talk 103.7 WTIP and Cable Channel 7 welcome you into Financially Speaking with Jim Taunton. Find us live on radio, TV, the IBX Media app, and on YouTube. Just search Financially Speaking NC or get the link at WTIPFM.com. The opinions expressed in this show are for general informational purposes only and not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine what investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities and investment advisory services are offered through Genoas Wealth Management Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Now, here's your host for Financially Speaking, certified financial advisor, Jim Taunton.
Welcome to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here, your co-host for Financially Speaking. The next 30 minutes, Jamison Taunton is also with me, as you can see if you're watching. And which brings me to what I need to tell you. We're actually pre-recording this show at 3:26 in the afternoon on Thursday, the 4th. And normally, of course, we go live at 6. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, it's live. We have to run it live on the media. So there you go. If you're listening to radio, it has been pre-recorded. So if you're listening on radio, do not call because we cannot take a call tonight. We will actually be at ball fields this evening. We've got Little League game and Little League practice going on. And, just not going to miss that. It goes by too quick, and there are not that many of those. So it preempted the radio program. So there you go. You can call us next week, maybe, if assuming we don't have a conflict with a ball game. But we do have some good information for you. We do. Oh, Jamison says we do have a conflict. So we'll have to see what happens.
Actually, I think it's a late game, so we might be good.
Oh, okay. Well, 7 would be great. Yeah, that'll be great. That doesn't bother us at all. It's the 5:30 games that messes up a little bit. And it's just been a real fast season. I mean, you start out, you're thinking, man, 22 games, it's going to be a long season. We don't have but 5 games left in the season. It's incredible. It's just like the ECU season. It starts and then you blink and it's over, and you have melancholy for a week. I mean, we my family, number one, we love sports, period. Number 2, we really love baseball. And number 3, we really, really, really love pirate baseball. That's our favorite. We buy season tickets for football, basketball, and baseball, but if somebody said, we'll give you a choice, we can discontinue football and basketball and put it all into baseball, or discontinue baseball, we'd say, let's put all the money in baseball because we just really, really love it. And can't wait for next year as well. But we got football coming up. Well, football practice starts, in July, Jamison?
I know there's summer workouts and first game in September, so it's not long.
I think the real practice starts in July.
Yeah.
But any case, I'm looking forward to seeing what Coach Harrell has done. I love Coach Harrell. He's a good guy. No pretentiousness at all about him. He and Cliff are very similar guys. Harrell's probably a little easier on the press than Cliff is, but maybe he can have a little talk with Cliff about being easier on the press guys. They're really not the enemy. But anyway, we're going to go to a break as usual. The program will appear like it's a normal program. We just won't be able to take any calls. And we'll start with some good information for you when we come back.
Aiden Golf and Country Club invites you to become a member. Come tour our beautiful clubhouse, ballroom, and facilities. For a quality golf experience, sign up for our discounted special membership rates, low monthly dues with no quarterly food minimum or assessments. Folks love to play golf at Aiden Golf and Country Club. Cool off at the pool all summer. Enjoy excellent food and beverages from the snack bar. Even store your own cart, unless you like to walk. Call 746-3389 for special limited membership rates at the Aiden Golf and Country Club.
My practice has been built on accessibility, responsiveness, and a willingness to be proactive for my clients. I'm not afraid to make recommendations relating to your investments and planning. I do hope all of your financial decisions are good ones, but let's not rely on hope. Let's roll up our sleeves and get to work.
Jim has attained 3 professional designations: Certified Financial Planner, Chartered Life Underwriter, and Chartered Financial Consultant, which entails 20 courses of study with examinations and a comprehensive national board exam, administered by the Certified Financial Planning Board. Jim has been practicing in financial services since 1979, which includes investing, planning, and insurance to help you meet your financial goals. Among the many awards Jim has received in his career is his selection to the Guide of the Top Financial Planners by the Consumer Research Council of America. So if you want to work with someone who is working for you, call Jim at 756-4700 or email him at planning@financiallyspeaking.com. That's 756-4700 and planning@financiallyspeaking.com.
Welcome back to Financially Speaking. Jim Taunton here, along with Jameson. And one advantage for doing the program during the afternoon, pre-recording, is I can give you some live market data. And the market has really been wacko today. But the Dow is up 954 points. That's almost 2%. And NASDAQ's up 57 points, S&P up 43, much lower percentage, but still up. NVIDIA, which I follow intently, is up $5.45, which is 2.54%. I mean, and NVIDIA was down somewhat, actually, this morning. So the whole market took a turn at about the same time. Everything started going up. And, I think what's going on is people are beginning to believe the end of the conflict is at hand, and the end of the conflict would mean lower oil prices. And really, that has been the only bugaboo. Everything else about the economy and about corporations, earnings, and what have you, have been great. Earnings just continue to be like gangbusters. Earnings are projected to be up overall 26%. Now, that's compared, Jameson, to Europe, Great Britain, Canada. All 3 of those are going into recession. Think about that. Our GDP keeps going up, and it's going to be at about 5% growth rate before long, and may hit 6% growth rate this year. And yet Canada, Great Britain, and Europe are going into recession. One of the big reasons for that is the United States is young compared to the other countries. We have a birth rate that keeps our country younger. We also assimilate immigrants better than other countries. And everything is younger, really. The plumbing, the electric system, the energy grid, everything is younger over here. We just do it better. Just that simple. The United States is the bastion of the world. And we just need to accept that and appreciate it and, hold it up with pride, basically. So we're looking good over here. I've told you on many occasions on this program that conversations we have over the air are, a lot of them anyway, the fodder for them comes from real-life cases. And we've had a real-life case the last week or so And actually, we met with the individual today. And I thought it would be an interesting case to discuss because there are a lot of moving parts in this case. And I think people can learn something from it. And that's the idea of this program, actually. I don't need to do this program anymore to get the word out about what I do. I mean, most people in Pitt County know what I do. So I just do it because I enjoy teaching and informing and enjoy having conversations with people. Jameson might think otherwise, but I just do it because it's fun. But this case is interesting, and I think Jameson would agree, and he's going to chime in after I get started here. But the individual that came in this morning is a young lady. She is a single mom. Of course, we don't use names. And her father died recently. The young lady actually was a client of Jameson's. The father was a client of mine. And so it made it real easy, for her to come in and speak to both of us because she'd already had some contact and her dad had told her about me and various and sundry things. But it was very comfortable, very comfortable. Obviously, she was still in the middle of grieving, her dad. Her mom had passed away some time ago, and so now she has no parents. And that's just a tough pill to swallow sometimes. And so we had to be very careful and slow and methodical and give her time, and that's exactly what we did. But this young lady is a single mom, has a 5-year-old daughter, and she doesn't have any relatives that are worthy of trust, evidently. And she inherited a large sum of money. Her dad, who was a client of mine, there were 2 accounts. Both of them were IRAs. One was an IRA annuity. The other was an IRA brokerage account. And she inherited this money, significant amount of money. And so we had to do the right things with it. And what the listening audience needs to know, Jameson, is that if a spouse dies, has an IRA, and leaves it to their surviving spouse, the surviving spouse has unlimited options. They can just roll it into their own IRA or keep the IRA the spouse had, continue it, and all kinds of things they can do. And no problem. And they don't have to be on any kind of schedule for making withdrawals. But when an individual leaves an IRA to a non-spouse beneficiary, and of course a daughter is a non-spouse beneficiary, that IRA has to be rolled into an inherited or beneficiary IRA. And once it's rolled into the inherited or beneficiary IRA, then that individual has 10 years to withdraw all of the money. Now, there was some conversation for quite some time, Jameson, as to whether that meant that individuals had to take out some every year or whether they could wait to the 10th year and take it all out. Now, the thought now is they have to take out some every year. And that's what we do in most cases. We do a calculation and determine what the amount is that an individual has to withdraw from the IRA. But it has to be evacuated by the end of the 10th year, or anything left in there is going to have an extreme penalty on it. And so there's no need to leave it in there. And, most people might ask, well, why is that the case? The same thing with RMDs, required minimum distributions. The only purpose for that is so the government can tax the money. That really is the sole purpose of the inherited or beneficiary IRA rules. And so that's what we did. We had two different types of accounts. So Jameson is rolling the brokerage account into an inherited or beneficiary brokerage account. And I'm going to be handling the IRA annuity and rolling that into a beneficiary or inherited IRA annuity. And then there will be a stream of income coming from both accounts to her over the next 10 years. And then whatever's left in the accounts the 10th year will have to come out to her in a lump sum. Now, Jameson, the numbers were almost gaudy because it's a lot of money going to be coming out of these accounts on an annual basis. I mean, a lot of money. The two together is much more than she was earning, from a salary. But then again, because the income stream was only like a 4 or 5% income stream that's required under the inherited IRA rule, by the 10th year, the money's grown considerably. I mean, considerably. And that's going to come out to her in the 10th year, and she will pay tax on that money. And like I told her, I'd love to pay tax on, $1.5 million. Give it to me. If somebody wants to give me $1.5 million and let me pay tax on it, love to do it. Because I'm going to be left, with about $1 million after pay the taxes on it. So that is not really a concern, to be honest with you. So that's what's going to happen. But the mitigating, or I should say complicating factor is the fact that she has a child that's 5 years old, and she wants all this money ultimately, if she dies, to benefit the child. And she has done no estate planning to this point. So we really didn't have a good beneficiary designation, did we, Jameson?
For the new accounts or currently?
For the new ones.
No, just she has a minor child and really nobody else. She has a sibling, but one that she didn't really feel like could fill those shoes if she left. So
yeah, if you leave it to someone other than the child, then you've got to trust that the amount of money they'd be receiving from these accounts would not alter their mindset a little bit. And I just rather would not have that temptation for someone. And, if I'm on my deathbed, I want to know that my child's going to get what I'm leaving them. So what we told her was that she needed to immediately do some estate planning. And we have an attorney that we bring to the table for estate planning, and we gave the information for her to contact. And I've already emailed with that attorney and made the attorney aware of her situation and what we had told her and recommended to her. And hopefully she'll get that done in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I would hope, so we can put a good beneficiary designation on the accounts. Because we put estate right now, and that is not a good beneficiary designation. That means it's going to be probated. And then if the child's not of age, then the court will designate, somebody to hold the money until the child's of majority, then the child gets it all. And that's a terrible plan. So what I told her needs to happen typically, and this is what I want people listening to hear. This is the kind of thing that you can do with a trust. And the type of trust that you use in this situation is called a testamentary trust. Now, everybody, most people are familiar with the Old and New Testament. Well, a testament is something that you leave at your death. And a testamentary trust means that the trust is not created, it doesn't exist until the death of the individual. And what happens is the will has a provision in it that says, at the death of the individual, trying very hard not to use any names, at the death of the individual, a trust will then be created, and all of her assets will go into that trust for the benefit of the child. Now, she will have made provisions in that will under the trust provision for a trustee and a guardian. And she should also name a successor trustee and successor guardian if those people maybe predecease her or just decide they're incapable of handling the responsibility. So she will name those individuals, and I prefer different individuals. Some will use one person for the guardian and the trustee. I prefer having two separate individuals. The trustee will be more of a money person, and that money person will work with the investment advisor on the accounts. And then the guardian is the one that actually nurtures the child, raises the child, puts the child to bed, gets them up in the morning, sends them to school, buys their clothes, fixes their breakfast. That's the guardian. As the guardian needs money for the rearing of the child for expenses, that guardian will request that from the trustee. And the trustee will then go to the investment advisor and say, all right, we need X dollars. And they'll send a check and provide that to the guardian for the rearing of the child. So when you have two different individuals, you've got more people, more eyes on it. You got a guardian, trustee, investment advisor. You've got the attorney involved. Excuse me. Yes, I'm still getting over that cold I had last week. So when you have more eyes on something, it's less likely that something will fall through the cracks or that anything can be abused, or forgotten, that kind of thing. So that's the plan that we recommended to this single mom, and it's a good plan. And I would hope that I'll be getting a call from either her or the attorney in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and we'll finalize that deal. And we'll be able to go back and change the beneficiary designations on these accounts from the estate to the trust under will. And that's just a much better arrangement. You have any comments on all that, Jameson?
I was going to say, kind of an example of why it's important to make sure your beneficiaries not only are set up, but are the best for your situation. Had a client, she was part of a retirement plan that I was managing, and she was younger. She was probably 30s to 40, something like that, and her beneficiary was her child, and he was a minor. I mean, he was maybe 12, 13, if that. And something happened. She suddenly passed away. And so her beneficiary is now her minor child. And, the courts aren't going to just turn over money, even though he's a beneficiary, to him. So they ended up having to make the attorney the guardian. And so the attorney was now responsible for getting the beneficiary account open, getting the money transferred, getting a distribution process for the child. So just kind of a messy situation.
That's right.
While the attorney may be trustworthy, you'd rather have somebody and somebody you choose being responsible for your loved ones.
Yeah, it's if you don't decide a good beneficiary, somebody else is going to decide it for you. And that could be the court system, and you do not want that. So we are very intentional about beneficiary designations and about putting transfer on death agreements on all non-IRA accounts, non-qualified accounts, to make sure that as much of their assets as possible will bypass probate and go directly to individuals. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Even if you have a will, it's the beneficiary designation on accounts that controls who it goes to. And if there's a beneficiary designation, then it'll go to that individual. They'll have complete control of it within 2 to 3 weeks, typically, after we've met with them. So that's a great thing. That's a great thing. The only assets, Jameson, really now that with the TOD law in effect that should be probated will be real estate, personal property, cars,
Bank
and
accounts.
jewelry, but not bank accounts. Bank accounts you should put a TOD on those.
Yeah, but most people don't. Like we had an elderly client, probably in her 80s, and just had no other family around, and then her husband passed away, and so there was nobody to help with her situation. So I ended up going down to the courthouse and met with her and the clerk of court just to kind of be supportive and offer some advice if she asked me. But it's such a mess because you have to create this list of all these different things, vehicles, like you said, sometimes bank accounts if they're not joint. And, you have to wait months. 5-6 months before you can get access to it. The judge gives you a little bit of an allowance, but it's not enough really to sustain you if you're depending on that. So it's go ahead and get everything set up now.
Yeah, there's the reason to use the transferable death on all financial assets, really. And that way you don't have to be concerned. The money will pass immediately, circumventing the probate process. So quick transfer, lack of expense, all of that is a consideration.
Yeah, something I was going to say, we've probably said a few times, while I've been part of the show, and I'm sure you've said it over the years, but the benefit of having an advisor is that we take a lot of the emotion out of making investment decisions. But I don't want people to think that makes us robots in situations like this. When we have a client come in who's just lost her father, who she was very close with, just as a young son. So, is really in need of some help. She was in tears when she came in. It's overwhelming and it's a lot to handle. So it's very important to us to be able to help clients through those difficult situations.
Yeah.
While we may not be able to take part in everything, making this a little bit easier and taking some of the load off and the burden and anxiety, it's a pleasure of ours. And we try to help in any way that we can. So while we do take the emotion from the investor side out when making decisions, we certainly can't participate in the emotional side and difficult situations like this.
And we don't mind doing that one bit. I have helped clients through many situations, deaths, divorces, conflicts, whatnot. And don't mind doing that one bit. I'm going to give out our contact information. So if we have someone out there that's heard this and said, I just haven't taken care of my business. It's just like I told this young lady. I said, look, you got some stuff now. some stuff, a lot of stuff. And it needs to be taken care of. You got to do some estate planning right now. That's ASAP. I told her that. I said, you got to get it done. So call us and let's schedule a time just to talk. We can give you second opinions, on how you have things set up and how investment accounts are invested. It never hurts to get a second opinion. There's no obligation or cost simply for coming in and speaking with us. And our contact information is this. Get your pencil ready. Number at the office is 252-756-4700. 756-4700. And when you call, you'll just hit the number for who you want to talk to. And Jameson typically will be the first contact person, and his extension is 2. So we hit number 2. All right. Our email is Jameson at financiallyspeaking.com. Jameson with an E. So Jameson at financiallyspeaking, same as the radio program.com. Mine, excuse me, is Jim at jtauntonfinancial.com. Excuse me, I had to mute the mic there for a minute. Didn't want to cough in your ear. So Jim at jtauntonfinancial.com. So either one, it'll get done one way or the other. Also, you can go on the website, and the website address is jtauntonfinancial.com. And you can find out probably more than you want to about Jameson and Jim, our qualifications and whatnot. And also, there's an inquiry page. You can fill it out and come to us by email. We will respond, I promise you. If you talk to any of our clients, and we've got hundreds, close to 1,000, all of our clients will tell you that they are very responsive. So let's get together and talk. And I've got music, so we need to cut it out. All right, Jameson and Jim here, helping you as always make all of your financial decisions good ones. Good night, everybody.